Hello everyone, welcome to our social studies presentation that we're going to be explaining to you about one of the awesome, amazing, and intelligent humans of the Renaissance. And that is Leonardo da Vinci. There's like a lot to explain about Leonardo da Vinci. And there's just so much to possibly explain. And you will be amazed after we talk about him and how he was able to change the entire world. So let's move on. So this is presented by me and John. So as we say, we will not talk about everything regarding Leonardo's life. However, we will summarize and explain many of his outstanding achievements, goals, and his successful career. So get your diving suits and let's explore about Leonardo da Vinci. Here are some facts about Leonardo da Vinci. Here's just some quick personal facts about him. We won't be talking about it, but these are just some heads up about what he did and during his career. Now, we will be showing you some of Leonardo da Vinci's inventions. Now, most of the inventions that he has created would be based on his observations, usually during his career as he traveled to many parts of Italy, especially during the times when he has observed events that are uprising throughout Italy, especially Florence. Some of these could include the battle between Florence and Naples, and the death penalty involving the hanging of the criminal who assassinated Lorenzo's brother, and even that of basic nature that he has faced during the Renaissance, Italian Renaissance. Some of his pictures, by the way, that include the baptism of Christ, when Leonardo was studying under Verrocchio, was so lively, he was completely impressed. And even himself, he couldn't hear thinking to himself, Verrocchio was just no match for Leonardo. No match. Therefore, he never painted again ever since. Now, we will be talking to you about some of Leonardo da Vinci's inventions, including the diving suit. Now, the funny thing that you're about to notice is that the diving suit, Leonardo was planning to develop the diver suit useful to repel against enemy ships' attacks. Why do you think so? Well, take a close look at the diving suit. It looks exactly like armor. From there, he thought that if, during war, especially at sea, if anyone would be able to dress up like in somewhat of a suit of armor, and would be able to repel and to search and be aware of the fact of many incoming enemy ships that could include pirate ships that would ever attempt to strike him, he would be able to, he thought, if he used the armor based on that diving suit, he would be able to repel, other than using it to explore underground usually. That was Leonardo's first plan, before he ever developed it, typically only used for underwater diving. This idea wasn't really known until the day of his death, when it's usually published in his famous Codex Atlanticus. Now we'll be showing you the armored car. The armored car is the vehicle similar to a modern tank. This tank could proceed in any direction as long as the driver was able to take control, especially in terms of driving and controlling the entire vehicle. So, it was able to do it. However, there was one problem, an issue that Leonardo was facing during the development and his drafts that he drew involving the mechanisms in order to form and to create the tank. As you notice, in one of his inventions, he actually sketched out the drawings and the possible cogs and cranks inside the tanks that were acting in opposite directions, especially in terms of rotation. This might be weird, but that was a huge problem in terms of movement, because if there was a balanced force, it just wouldn't be able to move in the direction it's destined to go. Therefore, it just wasn't able to proceed properly due to the fact that the movements of the crank just wasn't able to proceed properly and directly. If you all are just wondering why this could have occurred, would be because knowing the fact that many people would copy his inventions, he decided to make it tricky in order for people to not copy his inventions, because he's usually a copyright controlled person. Therefore, he had to think of a way for them not to copy his idea and his inventions by making it so confusing that not even anyone who tend to view the drafts and the mechanisms in terms of experience and movement that would be able to move into the direction. So due to the force, it just wasn't able to move properly, so thus creating a major flaw. Also, before, Leonardo actually thought that it would be okay to use animals as terms of transportation moving into the first place. However, unfortunately, due to their animals' nature, it just wasn't able to go out as planned, and due to the horses, it's just a wild nature, it just wasn't able to move on a proper speed and rate. That is why the armor tank has been created. We will be talking about the aerial screw. Now, the aerial screw was similar to a helicopter, featuring a propeller-like screw, similar to obviously a propeller, if that's what you're wondering. However, engines were obviously not invented until 1903. Therefore, instead of that, Leonardo thought that if 4 men could have possibly applied force in order to control the propellers or the screw, it would be able to take flight. Unfortunately, however, there's a downfall. Due to the weight, it just wasn't able to produce enough pressure in order for it to lift into the air. That is why it just wasn't able to take effect once it has been rotated. So, therefore, in the end, the aerial screw turned out to be a complete failure. Unfortunately, a failure. But it was a great idea. It was a great test. Leonardo was I'm really impressed. Leonardo was still able to come up and think of an idea in order to supply an invention in advance that will be equivalent to flying mechanisms and vehicles that we tend to have today. It was so advanced. He pushed beyond his limits. He never tried, despite the fact that problems were arising. So, as a result, it may have not went out as expected, but it was a very great approach, especially for Leonardo da Vinci. So that was amazing. We'll be showing you now another of his inventions, that is the parachute. This is one of Leonardo's tent-like designs and inventions used to save people when they're about to slowly descend into the ground. Here's a scientific explanation, just a quick scientific explanation why this occurs. So when the sheets and bodies of a parachute spread out, wind obviously pushes against it. As a result, densities also affect the flight, especially in terms of the lower pressure. Higher pressure would enter the lower pressure, would like rush directly into the area of lower pressure. However, unfortunately, because of the parachute sheet interfering with the wind along with the forces of gravity, it was just able to rise it up. However, due to the weight that is being supplied due to the gravity and mass, it just wasn't able to descend. It had to descend. The only thing that's affecting the relationship between flight and the parachute is just the amount of mass a person could contain and how strong gravity was able to push against. However, due to the fact that wind is being pushed against the sheet, the gravity pull would remain in a reduced level, strength and level. So Leonardo actually believed that if he could develop a sheet or a tent with all open sides, along with strings connected, anyone can throw themselves at any high location without sustaining any injury once they have landed into the ground. We will be talking about an anemometer. Many historians predict that through Vinci's fascinations with flight, Leonardo was inspired to invent an anemometer, which is actually used to determine the velocity of the wind or current. If you're trying to compare, think about any other like apparatus that is used to determine the current. I know many of you would obviously answer weather vanes, compasses, and that. You are correct. Well, basically, other than the anemometer, weather vanes are used to determine the current winds of the air. Basically, what that meant is it's just due to the free spinning feature, it just was able to easily determine the wind. Like, if you're trying to imagine wind that would be able to blow, it depends on the current, obviously, as a result of the air temperatures. But it would be able to determine the wind probably as fast as that, and how fast the weather vane is spinning. I will be showing you one of the interesting cannons that he has ever encountered. And that includes the 33-barreled cannon. The 33-barreled cannon was one of Leonardo's amazing and useful firearms that were actually fired, usually during the war. As the upcoming war was about to proceed, especially when it's being targeted by the Ottoman Empire and the King of France, Leonardo had to be prepared to develop weapons suitable in order to fight the battle. So this is one of the best examples of the firearm, could include a 33-barrel organ. This 33-barrel organ was one of Leonardo's smart tactics to use, especially against battle. Now you all would be wondering why he would actually develop such a fast material that could fire bullets simultaneously all over the place. Well, due to the fact that the cannons could only... It took a while for the cannons to actually reload. Therefore, it was able to blow away. Or not blow, blast. It took like even a while for it to even load before it could even blast ammo. Therefore, he thought that the 33-barrel organ would be really essential in order to, especially for soldiers. We'll be showing you some of the quick features of the barreled cannon. The 33-barreled cannon features a 33 caliber guns, usually 11 at each side. During that point of war, usually before, it would be able to easily determine and to load many bullets, many at once. So bullets would automatically launch from the holes of the guns. Typically, usually before war, bullets would automatically be loaded. And from there, it would be able to fire simultaneously after each row. So developing such a multi-blasting weapon made a huge benefit for soldiers. Therefore, they can easily fire simultaneously without any interruption. Now, this is one of Leonardo's most favorite things that he could have done during his career, and that is art. However, it's not just art that he went through. He wasn't really interested much in art eventually after a while. He was mostly interested in the amount of inventions that he was able to create during his career. That's why he has traveled to many parts, including Nepal. Therefore, he was able to develop such amazing artwork. So enjoy. One of his artwork, probably when he did this back at Verrocchio's, Andre del Verrocchio's studio, he was able to create the Medusa. Don't worry about the Perseus figure, because that was actually just who killed Medusa. This was just one of the stories of Medusa and how Perseus was just able to kill and cut her head off, using it as a weapon against those who dare try to view upon her eyes. It may appear that Leonardo was able to use many amazing paints, especially oil, in order to determine the picture, or the painting. The Baptism of Christ. This was actually one of the pictures Verrocchio was so amazed and alive, making him retire. Making him retire from becoming an artist. Retired from painting. It was so alive that even Verrocchio himself, one of the most best and legendary painters, wasn't even able to make a picture as alive as this one that you're seeing right now. So that's just amazing what we're trying to view through. Typically, this is like one of the results. Other than the Last Supper, the Mona Lisa made people wonder so much behind the painting. We'll be talking about some of the questions and mysterious aspects, features, and even facts that are usually behind the Mona Lisa picture. Instead of viewing through this picture as a normal woman posing at Lombardi, we have to take a closer look about what's going on about the Mona Lisa. So we'll be telling you some of the crazy facts and unconventional theories about the Mona Lisa painting. If you take a look at the mouth, the realistic appearance of Lisa's lips, it actually could have took 10 years to sketch and paint. Being aware of the position of Lisa's eyes, she could be staring directly to the viewer. Based on her enigmatic smile, Lisa might be concealing something that could be considered mischievous, unpleasant, or inappropriate, according to that mysterious smile that we are actually viewing through right now. And maybe most of you would be wondering who Mona Lisa could have actually been. Many theories state that Leonardo could have actually been the one behind that painting. Maybe posed as a woman. Who knows? It could have been Lisa Goncondo, or a woman who no one really knows who she really is. But those are the three chances with who that would be really behind that picture. Lisa Goncondo, another woman that we may or may not have known about, maybe the same one that he painted during his career. Maybe it was when he was about 28, or Leonardo himself. Those are just the three possible people. So we'll be quickly discussing about some of the Leonardo's effects, thoughts, achievements, and failures. Leonardo da Vinci may have exceeded more than what we could have expected. He pushed himself beyond the limits. Now, however, unfortunately, he may have encountered some failures that may or may not have come across approval. The challenges that Leonardo achieved could have included his advanced methods, creations that made successful projects while developing his realistic arts, inventions, and portraits. Not even any other scientists could have developed these types of materials due to their limited amount of knowledge. You see, knowing the fact that Leonardo based most of his observations through the world that he has been looking through, compared to other scientists who usually base all their opinions and facts through theories that could obviously be proven false. Downfalls that he may have faced. You know, through jealousy, he had to suffer arrest, incompletion of his work, him being executed. Not executed per se, but he was just unfairly arrested, and he had to automatically leave everything behind due to possible war occurring. Probably typically because of Leonardo's efforts, because of how jealous everyone is. Leonardo also thought Leonardo's thinking concepts was considered to be out of topic due to the fact that all his thoughts about facts that could be proven according to the Bible to actually be from Roman and Greek teachery. Therefore, it was just unable to have any effect. It never even supported any of the religious aspects, any facts of the religious aspects. It was just out of topic. Due to his criminal record, it may have damaged also his reputation, along with bad luck, obviously due to jealousy of Leonardo's efforts. Some facts that you may or may not have known. Obviously, maybe you guys would have already known because I already told you, but we'll just go over anyway. First, obviously, he was illegitimate. He was unschooled because he wasn't really sent to school. It's mostly like a studio, obviously, if you're already wondering. Most of his works are incomplete, as you know. The reason why is that most of his artworks couldn't have turned out what he expected it to become. Therefore, he decided to not complete all. He discontinued to work. He had a militant side, obviously, proving the point of that. He developed many weapons, even the moment war started throughout France. Not throughout Italy, from France and Ottoman Empire. And he was persecuted. Obviously, he was accused for no reason, only because of his efforts. He was persecuted. This is a certificate to reward Leonardo da Vinci for everything. So, congrats. You know, if certificates actually existed, he would have definitely deserved this. Give him a hand. Just kidding. These are all the people cheering. And you know why? It's all because of him. He was able to prove to everyone that anything is possible as long as you put your heart and your soul into this. So, why Leonardo could be considered the most important person of the Renaissance? The answer is obviously true. The answer is obvious. He worked hard. He knew that no matter what kind of challenges he ever faced, he never gave up regardless of what happened. Never, never, never gave up. He kept on trying. He wasn't influenced. He never cared what other people have thought about him. All the oppositions, that never made him stop trying. Just to achieve the possible. Notice, all the way from his bastard personality to an amazing, genuine, professional, more than just a professional. He has proven to himself. He has pushed himself so far. He has changed the entire world. He has influenced the entire world that anything is possible. Anything. As long as you have a desire, you must always work hard to approach that desire. No matter how many times you fall, how many times you fail, you never give up and you keep going at it, crawl back up. You never know. So never give up yet. Never give up. Never give up. Because of Leonardo, we were able to obtain extended knowledge about the universe based on Leonardo's observations, extended and further appreciation about our Mother Earth, inspiration to produce everything, possible mechanisms capable of take flight, and the variety of materials used to create and develop art, right? That's it. That's all. That's why Leonardo was considered to be the most important, and why he really 100% changed the world. No matter what other people said, he just kept going, and that's just what's important. That's the reason why he was able to succeed. Thank you all for watching. That's it.